Welcome to the PCFL show. This week we've got highlights of the first round of the playoffs, previews for the second round, and a special Father's Day 3 quick questions. The PCFL show is brought to you in part by 916 Design Studio. For all your design needs, call 916-747-9255. Also by La Cabana Restaurant in Suisun, the best in home-style Mexican cooking. Call 707-429-5871. Originally, this 3 quick question segment was supposed to be a funny, big man on a carnival ride type segment, but after doing the questions and putting the piece together, I thought it was more appropriate to air before Father's Day. This week, we're on location with
Matt Davis, defensive line, Capital City Fury.
Matt, thanks for being on the show while you're on vacation. How many times have you been to the Disneyland parks?
4. 5 times.
What's your favorite rides?
Tower Terror is one of my number 1. The new Cars Land is also fun. And let's see, I'd have to say Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Favorite character?
Goofy, of course. Who doesn't like Goofy?
Okay, you're a lineman. What's your favorite food here?
Turkey leg.
And overall, what do you like most about coming to Disneyland with your family?
I like coming to Disneyland because it gives me time to spend time with my family and enjoy my time with my family, which is very key, especially since my family supports me during my football endeavors.
Thanks for being on the show, Matt, and happy Father's Day to all fathers out there on behalf of the PCFL. Without the support from our families, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, and I know we're all grateful for it. Playoff highlights, anyone? Near the end of the first quarter, after several exchanges of possessions, the Fury move into Stallion territory with his first down run by Derek Morrison. But any momentum got interrupted as Ron Birdsall comes in for the sack, forcing a 3rd and long that's picked off by Vernon Rowland. The Fury defense forces a 3rd and long, and Anthony Edwards sacks and strips the ball, and it's recovered by Dave Young on the 9-yard line to end the quarter. And that sets up this touchdown run by Kimby Drayton. On the Stallions' next possession, Jeffrey Williams hits Bobby Madu on a 4th and 6 to put the Stallions into the red zone. And 4 plays later, it's Jeffrey Williams to Bobby Madu again for the touchdown. On the Stallions' next possession, they look to throw again, but the ball gets tipped, and Terrence Simeon comes down with the pick. And on the next play, Dave Young does it all. Here he catches an 11-yard pass from John Russell for the touchdown. After an exchange of possessions, the Stallions start to move the ball again. Here, Jeffrey Williams scrambles and finds Tony Owens for a first down. But 2 plays later, Corey Vidulich comes up with the interception. And on first down, it's a screen pass to Cisco Ragsdale, who takes it 90 yards for the touchdown. In the 3rd quarter, after a few possessions, Cisco Ragsdale takes the toss and takes it into the end zone. And a few possessions later, the Fury cap off a 7-play, 57-yard drive with his 28-yard pass to Kimby Drayton. After a fumble on the kickoff, the Fury get the ball back, and this pass to Robbie Long and puts him in the red zone. And 2 plays later, John Russell hits Kyle Providence for the touchdown. The Stallions start to come back as Jeffrey Williams hits Tony Owens again for another first down. But the Fury defense clamps down on the very next play as Dave Young and Demetric Antonio combine for the sack, and Glenn Shields pressures Jeffrey Williams, who dumps it off to Mike Laurie, who's tackled for a loss. On their next possession, the Stallions drive for a bit, but it's stopped on a 3rd down by Ronnie Fields, who picks it off and takes it 97 yards to the house. And with time running out, the Stallions' last drive is halted as Corey Vidulich snares his 2nd interception of the day to end the game. And your final score is Capital City Fury 47, South Bay Stallions 7. The PCFL show is brought to you in part by Graves Video Production. Capture life's great moments. Go to gravesvideo.net. Also by HostedSports.com, the only one-stop place for all sports on the web.
You are watching the PCFL show with your host, Angry Mike.
In the first quarter, the Rhinos are driving, but the ball is picked off by Dom Vargas. And that sets up Tim Thomas, who bounces it outside and turns the corner for the touchdown. But before the Rhinos could get anything going, Dom Vargas strips and recovers the ball. And the Outlaws capitalize. Going for it on fourth down, Andrew Betancourt hits Terrell Woodall, who makes some moves and takes it into the end zone. But in the second quarter, the Rhinos defense comes up big. Here, they take advantage of the bobbled snap and force the Outlaws back. And on the next play, they force the turnover. That sets up this quarterback sneak by Sean McCauley for the touchdown. Later in the quarter, Sean McCauley's pass is tipped, and Thaddeus Vincent comes down with the ball and takes it to the house for the touchdown. But the Rhinos come right back and march down the field, capping it off with this Dwayne Backus touchdown. Later on in the third quarter, the Outlaws punt it away. But there's a fumble and they get the ball back. That sets up Tim Thomas's second touchdown of the day. And in the fourth quarter, Sean McCauley hits John Mosley for the touchdown. And on their next possession, the Rhinos are driving again. And it's deja vu all over again as Mosley pulls in another touchdown. They go for two, but the Outlaw defense stops them. With time running out in the game, the Rhinos still had a chance to tie or take the lead, but it's picked off. And even after that, one last chance for the Rhinos, but a fumble seals it for the Outlaws. And your final score is East Bay Outlaws 31, California Rhinos 25.
You're watching the PCFL show.
PCFL Playoffs 2013. At first there were 6, now there's 4. The Delta Ducks, the East Bay Outlaws, the Central Coast Barnstormers, and the Capital City Fury. Special thanks again for our playoff graphics to FPSathletics.com. Let's recap the bracket and how each team got there. The Delta Ducks and the Central Coast Barnstormers each earned first-round byes, and the lowest remaining seed will take on the top remaining seed. So with the Capital City Fury advancing, that means they'll take on the Barnstormers, and the East Bay Outlaws will take on the Delta Ducks. The winners of these matchups will advance to the PCFL Championship game. Do you want the good news or the bad news? The bad news is quarterback Andrew Betancourt went down with a dislocated elbow this last week for the Outlaws. The good news, when the Outlaws offense got back on track, Scotty Cordiar was at the helm. They shouldn't miss a beat, and we already know what their defense can do. The Delta Ducks offense poses a threat on the ground as well as in the air. Will they be able to keep the Outlaw defense on their heels? And we've known all season long that the Ducks' special teams are outstanding. Can the defense maintain its level of excellence in stopping the Outlaws? The East Bay Outlaws take on the Delta Ducks this Saturday, June 15th at Grant Union High School in Sacramento. Kickoffs at 5 o'clock, sponsored by the Onyx Club of Roseville. The defense sets the tone for the Fury. Can they come out and approach this game with much more intensity than they did in their first meeting? And can the offense continue improving, putting points on the board while minimizing turnovers? It all starts with the running game of Dante Mills and Omari Carr for the Central Coast Barnstormers. But just because it starts there doesn't mean it ends there. Let's not forget this team can move the ball through the air and score points, and their defense and special teams are solid. The Capital City Fury take on the Central Coast Barnstormers Saturday, June 15th at Vaca Christian High School. Kickoffs at 6 o'clock. Sponsored by La Cabana Restaurant of Suisun, the best in home-style Mexican cooking. Go to lacabanadessusun.com or call 707-429-5871 for your reservation today. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Again, happy Father's Day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And again, thanks for sharing those links on Facebook. The more people we can reach in our community, the more people we'll get coming to our games. Also, check out the PCFL.com for more info. I'm your host, Angry Mike, and I'll see you next week.